Hey, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you are doing well. And it is time for a review of the new Laura Marling album, Song for Our Daughter. This is the latest full-length LP from UK singer-songwriter Laura Marling. It is her seventh album. Over the years, it's been interesting to see Laura progress and evolve artistically and thrive through one of the most tumultuous and saturated eras of popular music, the 2010s. Her discography throughout this decade was marked with a supreme amount of maturity and grace, and somehow that's even more so the case for her newest work here. Simultaneously, this is her most direct and no-frills album in years too, certainly more so than the bold short movie, as well as the 9-track Semper Femina. The instrumentals on this LP, while lightly arranged in a very beautiful way, are some of Laura's most rustic in a while as well. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Even as she flirts with a bit of gentle and patient folk rock on the opening track Alexandra, and closes up shop with some gently strummed guitars and harmonized hums on For You. And I had a feeling things might move in this direction off of hearing a teaser from this record, Held Down, which is a pretty blunt cut with a super strong vocal line on the hook, layered with some boldly strummed guitars and cascading vocal harmonies too. Even more detail is added when these soaring, wailing guitar harmonies enter the fold and create a really euphoric sensation. But really the selling point of the track ends up being Laura's stunning and very earnest vocals and lyrics. Then I suppose there's the matter of the album title, Song for Our Daughter. And while this album is not a concept, it is packed with a lot of personal, contemplative, and familial themes, enough to thread through most of the tracks here, making this album a pretty cohesive listen. There are some interesting character portraits in the mix on this thing too. So far in this review, maybe I'm talking a bit too much about the big picture appeals of this album, but Song for Our Daughter is just one of those records that everything that is great about it is just so immediately thrown into your face, despite the fact that the listening experience here is relatively chill, gentle, easygoing, sweet on the ears. I should also mention the instrumentals are pretty versatile as well. I see Laura channeling a bit of Paul Simon on the very funky folkisms of Strange Girl. Not only that, but some of Laura's most frank and hilarious lyrics on the album end up here too, as she is describing in great detail this person who is hot-blooded and hard-headed. Build yourself a garden and have something to attend, cut off all relations cause you could not stand your friends, announce yourself a socialist to have something to defend. Oh young girl, please don't bullshit me. There's a sharp energy to the track I can't deny. The following, Only the Strong, is much more low-key and simplistic instrumentally, but just as bold. Laura's voice and singing, even in a measured tone, has an authoritative depth to it that is just commanding. Through this track we have enchanting finger-picked guitars, as well as these gorgeous vocal harmonies, one lyrical gem after another about surviving love, describing it as a sickness healed by time. We then have the very dramatic Blow by Blow, which seems like a combination of a somewhat dreary Joni Mitchell-style piano ballad combined with the arranged theatrics of like Kate Bush's 50 Words for Snow. The one major downside to this track is that it bows out a little prematurely underneath a wash of orchestral strings. We then have the title track, which I see as a pretty incredible musical communique that features Laura singing along with some light touches of piano and guitar. Lyrically, she is essentially trying to give her daughter a heads up here on sexism, objectification, going down the wrong path, feeling unsure of yourself, feeling lost, being influenced by those who may want to take advantage of you in some way. It's a supremely heartening moment on the record and shows that few things are paralleled by a mother's love. We then get more chamber folk on the track Fortune, which is a meditation on just hoping things get better. Laura's lyrics on this track hit upon some pretty heartbreaking imagery, feeling like you're going through this intense amount of suffering and pain that you just want to let up. A mother who's also just gathering money in order to use that to run away. While there are some specifics of the track that are a bit dodgy, what I can gather from the narrative so far along with the tune just makes me want to cry like a frickin' baby. And you guys know I do that. Also making me want to cry is the song The End of the Affair, which narratively is exactly as the title describes. It's a truly captivating moment set to a very eerie drone and some guitar, where Laura describes lyrically the final interaction of two people who have been cheating, essentially, and are now planning to make good or make better on the vows they have taken with other people. While it's always good to live up to your promises, I can't help but feel like there's a supreme amount of tragedy to what's going on between these two people. Now, it might be the way that Laura straddles singing and talking on this track, but there is something supremely Bill Callahan about the song Hope We Meet Again. Maybe it's the fact that both of them just have these similarly steady, assuring voices that I can't get enough of. And while I wish the song here didn't meander quite so much, the touches of pedal steel throughout the instrumental are quite nice. We then get the amazingly lovely For You, the closer I alluded to earlier, which brings things back to the more motherly themes of the record and the title. Some of the best and most loving lyrics on the entire record turn up here. Don't be surprised if you listen to this one and miss your mom. So yeah, this thing was my favorite Laura Marling record by a mile, too. It was quite lovely, quite nice, wonderfully performed and mixed, assembled. Sure, very dry, not super technical, not super groundbreaking or experimental or out there for an album in this genre, but chock full of personality, great stories, good songs, and a lot of passion and emotion too. And sometimes, you know, that's really all you need. That's just enough. That's just enough to make a great album, to make a great listening experience that you want to come back to again and again and again. Something that really gives you warm, fuzzy, and sometimes heartbreaking sensations too. I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Laura Marling, forever.